Yo, 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 we are back at it. We are back at it. You guys already know we got to see what this Wi Fi is talking about first. Got to peep it out on the iPad. So once we get the notification on the iPad that your boy is live, we could go ahead and read this disclaimer. We'll talk about NVDA. We'll do some trading recaps and then we'll really get it popping. So let's just see. Let's see what's going on. I don't know what's the deal is, why it's taking so long. All right, so I got it going over there. Now we got people joining. So let's read this disclosure, and then we can get into what's important, which is NVDA. So disclaimer/disclosure. Please note that the following is not legal advice and is provided for informational and educational purposes only. Investing in securities carries a high degree of risk and can result in the loss of your entire investment. You should consult with a qualified financial advisor or legal professional before making any investment decisions. The information contained in this presentation does not constitute an offer or solicitation to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments. Any opinions expressed in this presentation are subject to change without notice and should not be relied upon as a recommendation to buy or sell any securities. Please do your own due diligence and research before making any investment decisions. All right, so you guys already know what time it is. We read the disclosure, we read the disclaimer, and let's talk about NVDA. Let's talk about NVIDIA. I see Quick Quit, I see Vildimes, Chris Mays, Twangs, Wind Jacket. All right, I see all y'all. I see everybody coming through. Oh, let's bring this down. Got the audio. Whoa, got the audio going. Who's your Jamie? Lil Moore, Mintown, T Ford. I see all y'all. Thanks for coming through. Let's drop some likes and let's talk about NVIDIA. Dropping another banger. Every quarter, dropping something new. Something to raise the price up. But it looks like we already got somewhat of a little bit of a retraction, a retracement, a pullback in the after hours. So let me go ahead and bring TradingView on down. And we can take a look and see what happened already. So here we have the 30-minute chart on NVIDIA for the day. The day traded mostly kind of flat with a little bit of a dip towards the end. And then boom, we hit the after hours and they reported earnings. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of my drawings just so we can keep this chart as clean as possible. And now we can really take a look at NVDA, which has shot up past 1,000, has broke the 1,000 mark finally on the announcement of a few things. The one that sticks out the most to me is the fact that they are doing a 10-for-1 stock split, which is actually happening pretty fast. From my experience, most stock splits take a couple of months. They give people time to get in or whatever case needs to be done on the background. But now they're going to have the stock split as of June 7th, if I read the article right. So that gave it a bump. But the interesting thing to me right here is this candle, this 30-minute candle in the after hours, with the strong push down almost to make the stock flat. This typically to me foreshadows that tomorrow traders are going to be taking profits right at the market open. In my Discord community, one of my members was talking about that, being ready at market open for the pullback, for the retracement. But thank y'all for joining. So I Sickly, user 428, Fowley, Lily, Anthony, DJ Norman Love, Mayor West D. I see y'all. HMP 2318. So will the stock be cheaper for us to buy? So right now the stock is at $1,002. I think when the market opens tomorrow, it's going to be higher than what it's at right now. That's my opinion. But within the first 30 minutes of the market opening tomorrow, we will see a quick pullback. So if you're looking for a dip to buy shares, not contracts, but to buy shares, if it was me, you got to be ready to act quickly because that dip is going to happen fast. And then I think we're going to get more of that bullish momentum to push NVDA up to the upside. Yo, yo, yo. Greg, what's going on? I see Truck. Thank you for coming through. Carlos Moreno, what's up, what's up, what's up? We got 15 of us already in the building. We got like 80 likes popping through. All right. So any other questions related to NVDA? I want to get into it. We're going to be talking about that primarily. But if you're new to my TikTok live, one of the things that I always like to talk about is a trading recap and what me and my community did. So, of course, Drop your questions about NVDA. We're going to be talking about that. That's going to be the main theme. But in the meantime, in between time, let's take a look at what we called out in the Discord community. So I'm going to bring up my Discord. We'll go through step by step. We'll do some trading recaps. It was a pretty good day for the call outs. I'm super happy. It always feels good when you have some good call outs for your community. Tomb Raider, I believe that's Tomb Raider, says, how do I get started in trading? So there are a lot of ways. Step one is you want to sign up for a broker like Webull or Thinkorswim or Robinhood. And then after you sign up and you open your brokerage account, you have to apply for the ability to, it depends on what type of trading you're talking about, but I focus on options trading. So in order to be able to do options trading, once you sign up with a broker like Webull or Robinhood or Thinkorswim or whatever the case may be, you then have to apply for the ability to do options trading. And most brokers are just going to ask you a series of questions about your investing and risk tolerance, how long have you been trading, things of that nature, because they're going to assign you a certain tier, a certain level to be able to options trade. So that's the second step. And then after that, you definitely want to have a trader's journal and a back testing log. And then you want to find one person, one community that you really believe in, whether it's an individual coach or mentor or a particular Discord community. Find one and tap in all the way with that community so that you can have one set of learning strategies. A lot of times for those of us that are getting into options trading, we have all of these different resources that we're pulling from, and then it causes a bit of chaos when we're trying to learn how to trade in a linear fashion. So I hope that helps you. HMP2318, with the split, how does that affect people wanting to buy? Should we buy shares before or after the split? Okay, so that is a good question, and it actually came up in the Discord community. So I'm going to go over to my Discord. Let's take a look, because that did come up. That was a question that was asked. And where was it at? Hold on. All right, so we talked about it right here. NVIDIA set 10-for-1 forward stock split effective June 7th. We got a member that said, okay, so what is the split? They weren't sure about it. And I said they're going to divide the number of shares, meaning if you have one share now, it'll be split into 10 shares. They said, wow. And so basically what I get at is I said, usually wait for the stock to pull back, but before it splits. So like in this case for NVIDIA, I'd wait for some of the bullish momentum to cool off and wait for a pullback. But the only thing is, it looks like they'll be splitting pretty soon if the article headline is correct. So when it comes to NVIDIA, if you're waiting for a pullback, in my honest opinion, in terms of the short-term future, because they're talking about June 7th, a lot of times when people split stocks, Walmart, Apple, Tesla, there was a pretty gap of time. You know, there's at least a month, 2 months in advance where you had time to see if the stock was going to cool off and pull back. With that being said, if we're thinking more immediately with NVIDIA, I'm thinking sometime tomorrow morning when the traders are selling, when the market first opens to take profit, that might be the best bet for the split or to get in if you're talking about buying shares. And if we take a look right here on the chart, like I said, this is an indication to me that it's going to dip down. But be careful, because I really think now that NVIDIA has broken $1,000, it's going to be hard. Like, I really do think the $1,000 mark is going to be a psychological threshold for NVIDIA, and it's going to be hard for it to stay under 1,000. We may have a good solid opportunity in the first 30 minutes to an hour of the market being open tomorrow, but I do think that this is going to be the new level of support for NVIDIA, $1,000. All right, thank y'all for the likes. Thank y'all for coming through. We're rocking pretty deep. We're 30 deep. Nurse Outlook, I see you. I appreciate you. K, Disciple of Christ, Free Picks. KCMR, thank you for coming through. Edgar. All right, Brian Drake. I see y'all. Okay, all right. Feel like it's a little too bright. Let me turn that off. Might be just a little too dark, but we'll rock with it for a minute. So, Kay says, I have Lotto 1,100 calls. All right, Kay. I hope those come through and pay off. Big shouts out to Kay. Stay on top of it. Be aware. Understand that there are going to be people taking profits as soon as the market opens up tomorrow. We are at $1,003 for NVIDIA. I got to turn the brightness down for you to see that. All right, so we'll come back to NVIDIA. That's going to be the topic of the day. But I do want to talk about the trades that I gave a heads up on before today. So it was a good opportunity. All right, so yesterday or last night at 9 p.m., I said tomorrow I'll be looking to take puts on XLF if there's a nice bounce slash projection off the downward trend line. So that was one that I called out, right? I called that out last night at 9 o'clock p.m. And let's go take a look at how XLF did for today. Let's go see XLF. I'm going to close some of these because my computer sometimes is just running a little slow. I know all y'all are going to ask about GME and AMC and all of that kind of stuff. But here we have XLF. And let's just take a look. And then I'm going to change it back to the daily chart. If y'all are rocking with me, let me move myself up. Let me go right here. Let's go to the daily. All right, perfect. So what I spotlighted last night to my community, and we'll use the replay function, thanks to TradingView's replay function. So this is what it looked like last night. And I said I was looking for a bounce off of somewhere in this area to take puts to the downside. So if we bring this up a little bit and we go to the next candle just to see how the day played out, it played out pretty perfectly. Boom, it bounced off of this line and went up a little bit, almost broke the structure, the trend line structure, but it bounced off this line and came on down. HMP 2318 says, what is NVIDIA's biggest competitors or shares we think we should look at with NVIDIA announcement? Bought NVIDIA an hour ago. What's your thoughts? Also, how do I join the Discord? So HMP 2318. First link in my bio. It's the only link in my bio. It's the one that's the launch pass for Passive Income University. Come through. We would love to have you. We have a great community. So come through and join. We got the question, what is NVIDIA's biggest competitors or shares we think we should look at with NVIDIA announcement? The interesting thing is there's a lot of talk and there's a narrative that eventually in the future, NVIDIA and AMD are really going to split the AI microchip space. And NVIDIA is going to be more so on the consumer side and AMD is going to be more so on the business side, supposedly. I don't know how accurate that is. This was a couple of months ago. Now, I used to look at AMD as like the kind of competitor that rises when NVIDIA rises, but that really hasn't been the case lately over these past couple of months that I've been trading. So with that being said, the first thing you want to do is look at all the semiconductor AI chip stocks space. So I believe that's, of course, AMD. Let's go take a look at the competitors. But you also want to remember that in big moves like these, when it comes to NVIDIA, the market makers are going to move funds from other stocks to help drive this price up, depending on how much they want NVIDIA to go up. All right, Brian Drake, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. All right, I feel like it's already getting a little warm. Dang, already getting hot. All right, Plan Your Trade says QCOM. We'll get into that in a bit. But biggest competitors. So what is NVIDIA's biggest competitors or shares we think we should look at with the NVIDIA announcement? So they're going to dominate right now, at least for the next day or two or going into the weekend. But you might want to look at, let's go test it out. Let's just see how AMD is doing in the aftermarket. That's a good question. So thank you, HMP238. So the first one we would probably be interested in is AMD. Let's go take a look right quick in the after hours just to see if there's any correlation between AMD and NVIDIA. And so what we have here is AMD had somewhat of a rise and now it's pulling back, and that's kind of congruent, right? That's kind of parallel with NVIDIA. We've got this rise with NVIDIA. It has somewhat of a pullback that it bounced back, and we can see somewhat of a similar thing with AMD, which is a lot cheaper than NVIDIA. But if we go back to the daily chart for AMD, you just want to be aware of where it's at, because it looks like AMD was in a support and resistance zone. So you just want to be aware of that. So the first competitor, if you will, or the first kind of other stock that you might want to take a look at is AMD. It is, quote unquote, a lot cheaper than NVIDIA. Jay says, hey man, are you using the strat? I don't use it explicitly, but I do keep the indicator on my chart because the strat is where I really got my basis for learning how to trade. So it's just something that I always pay homage to, but I don't use it explicitly every day. I just keep it on there as a kind of guide for me. Plan Your Trade says 167.70. Jay says, Curtis, do you trade futures? Not at this time, not yet, Jay. Right now, where I'm at with my skill set and my learning and how I started my trading journey, it is with options contracts. So until I feel like I've mastered options and I can easily make $5,000 in a day or $10,000 a day, I'm going to wait and stick with options trading and wait till I get to that level where I know I could easily reach into the market at any time and pull out some money. All right, Jay says that's so cool, Curtis. Love it. For sure, for sure. Appreciate you, Jay. Tome Raider, thanks for the follow. User 345357 says bought NVIDIA about an hour ago. Your thoughts? So like we were saying, when it comes to NVIDIA blasting off, I definitely do think that this $1,000 level is going to become a psychological support and resistance zone, more so a support zone for NVIDIA. Most of the market, most people have been waiting for NVIDIA to break that $1,000 mark. You can see right here, we're at 1,003. And so what I do think is going to happen is that when the market opens tomorrow, traders are going to be executing to take profits as fast as they can. So don't be surprised if we have somewhat of a retracement or a pullback, or the price goes down in the morning, probably in the first 30 minutes to an hour. After that, I think more some of that bullish momentum is going to kick in, and NVIDIA is going to continue to rise up. That's my thoughts. But one thing we do want to be aware of, especially if something like this candlestick that has this crazy wick to the downside, if something like this happens tomorrow, we could see a bigger sell-off of NVIDIA. Why? I can't say. It may be just an aggressive move for market makers and traders to take profits. But usually when I've seen something like this in regular trading hours, a subsequent downtrend will follow. And we can kind of see that starting to happen with the after hours trading. Yo, Lucas, what's going on, my guy? Big shout out to Mocha Ray. Thank you for the likes. Whoa now. An hour ago, cash out and buy it when it dips. Big sell-off at open after the, I don't know, could go back up. I feel you on that. Jay, thanks for the follows. Jay says, understand, following because you're very logical and believe you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Appreciate the love and the support, y'all. Running up the likes. We're already close to 800 likes. That means so much to me. I appreciate it. All right, so, yeah, if you bought shares of NVIDIA, especially if you were able to get in the aftermarket trading, you know, if you're up, I don't know, you said an hour ago, it's 3:35 West Coast time. I am in California. So if you bought an hour ago, right, each one of these candles represents 30 minutes. I'm on the 30-minute chart. So if you were in this candlestick, this crazy one, you know, hopefully you got in down here somewhere around the 970 area, 980. I don't know how much you were able to buy, but we're way up here above 1,000. Don't hesitate to take some profits off the table. Remember, the name of the game is not to be greedy. So if you're sitting in some profits and you can execute a sell to secure some profits, doesn't mean you got to sell everything. Let's just keep the numbers simple and whole. Let's say you bought $1,000 worth of NVIDIA, right? I'm trying to do the numbers in my head. And let's just say you're up, I don't know, 20%. Maybe take 10% profits and then let the rest run, just so you can secure something. You never want to be in a position where you had the opportunity to take profits and then eventually the market took it all back from you. All right, Plan Your Trade says traders should be taking profits in the morning on NVIDIA. That's what I think. Lucas says, wait, so if you're in Cali, when does the market close for you? Is it still 4? No, that is not the case. So for me, Lucas, the market opens up at 6:30 a.m. and then it closes at 1 p.m. So those are the hours that I'm able to do options trading. Of course, when it comes to regular shares, all of us could trade shares in the after hours trading. But when we're talking specifically about options, I have from 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. All right, Lucas says, dang. All right, Lazarus says you can only sell options during open hours. That's right. All right. Whoa now, Lazarus. If not, 524 expiration should be a nice profit at open. User 345357. Yeah, I'm down. It was bought at 5:30 Eastern time. 5:30 Eastern time. Oh, so we're literally maybe like an hour after the market closed. So did you buy at the top here? It sounds like you kind of bought at the top. It can't be too bad. Even if you bought at 1,022, we're still above 1,000. And we got to remember, you know, NVIDIA does those bigger moves. All right, HMP 2318. How looking into Dell since they will partnership with NVIDIA? Yeah, there's a lot of people partnering. Did you guys see? Amazon made an announcement. Amazon said, hey, we want to put a hold off of the current chips that we were ordering from NVIDIA, and we want to get the ones that are going to be the newer chips. So there's a lot of partnerships there with NVIDIA. There's a lot. Dell, Amazon, there are whole countries, whole companies. So one thing we want to remember that a lot of the news is already kind of priced in, right? A lot of news is already priced into the price. All right. Big PP Boy 69. I figured Apple would have a move with NVIDIA. Not quite, but let's go take a look. Let's go see, y'all. Let's see. So we saw somewhat of a correlation. Here, we're looking at the 30-minute chart of NVDA. Now, its biggest competitor, and quite literally their cousins. I'm pretty sure most of us knew this, but for those of us that didn't know, the CEO of AMD and the CEO of NVIDIA, they're literally biological first cousins. It's all in the family. So for those of us that are new and we're just getting into this whole learning about options trading and stock news and all that kind of stuff, the CEO of AMD is the direct first biological blood cousin of the CEO of NVIDIA. Now, if we look at AMD, and let's take a look at the, I don't know why it went crazy right now. Why is it way over here? Oh, because we're on the daily chart. But let's look at the after hours. The same thing that kind of happened, right? Not to the same degree, but the same thing that kind of happened with NVIDIA happened with AMD. They had that nice spike up, a pull back down, and it's starting to flatten out. Now let's go take a look at Apple. Let's go take a look at Apple. Put in the wrong ticker right there. All right, Will Matthews 991, appreciate that. Big shout out to Small Bags Daily. You guys go follow Small Bags Daily. That's a real good dude. He gives out free game and free plays every day. I need to get on board. I've been lagging. I've been slacking, but I'll be tapping in with my guy, Small Bags Daily. All right. So what we're looking at right now is we want to see how Apple did with the after hours. And this doesn't necessarily confirm whether or not there's a correlation, but just based off of this news, right? So here we are in the after hours for Apple, and it's done somewhat of a dip. My thoughts, my hypothesis, my theory about that is market makers are going to move some money around to capitalize on pushing up the price of NVIDIA so that they can take profits in the morning. That's one thing we want to be on our toes about when the market opens tomorrow, Thursday, is a pullback on NVIDIA's stock price when traders, market makers, and institutions are selling out to capture some of those profits. All right, Whoa now says, if I had to bet, it will pull back at open and close around 10 to 10:30. I'm right in alignment with you. That's what I'm thinking about the same. I really do think now the $1,000 is a psychological level, and that's going to be a level of support now for NVIDIA. Cinnamon Sunshine, I appreciate you for the follow. Plan Your Trade says, NVIDIA price is too high to buy right now for me. NVIDIA, AMD, QQQ. I feel you on that. It's a trip because I was in on NVIDIA a long time ago and I sold out of it in my portfolio, my long-term portfolio, and I should have just kept it. All right, user 34537 TYY. Whoa, now you don't think it will surge higher? Okay, all right. I'm trying to see all the comments, you guys. Just want to give y'all a heads up. I really try my best to see all the comments. The crazy thing about TikTok is sometimes it'll hide all the comments, so I have to really scroll through and take a look at them. But we're rocking. We are rocking right now. Almost 3K in the likes. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Steven Lopez Aguadelo says AMC prediction. I actually just charted AMC in my Discord. Somebody asked for that in the Discord, so I'll give you a little look at what I was looking at for AMC. Where is it at? Where is AMC at? AMC, where are you? Where is AMC? I just charted it today. I don't know where it's at. Amazon. Oh, it's in the chill lobby. My bad. It's in the chill lobby. All right. So, what we were talking about for AMC. Here we go. So we wanted to talk about AMC, and this is just to prove it. I love giving you guys receipts. I love coming with the proof. So one of my members asked me about AMC. This was just a few hours ago. So AMC appears to have started a slight upward trend on the daily chart. I would wait for a bounce off the trend line before taking calls or a break above 529 for a possible run up. So this was a copy of the chart that I had put. These are the daily candles for AMC. Just a slight daily. I mean, we have some wide moves, right? We've got some wide moves, but we got a slight trend. If we're looking at the bottom of each candle, we've got a slight upward trend. So my thoughts are we've got resistance right here at 529. So if we break above this, we could go ahead and take some calls up or waiting for it to come back down to the trend line and bounce off of this. Those would be my two areas to look for calls to the upside. That's what I think about AMC. All right. Let's get back to the chin arts. Okay, all right. Yo, Lamont, what's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? We're gonna have our own exclusive Zoom meeting after this one. I just wanted to tap in with the TikTok community, but then we're gonna go live exclusive for the Discord community so we can really answer questions and start planning our charting and our trades for tomorrow. All right, Bullish Bear says overall sell-off for tomorrow. Possibly, especially with NVIDIA. I think at the beginning of the day, the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour is going to be a lot of the traders taking profits. So really the bears are going to have a little bit of strength. All right, Skin Deep Originals, thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that. We're already hit 3K in this mug. All right, Stephen Lopez Aguadelo says, what's your Discord? So it's called Passive Income University. It's the first and only link in my bio. Come through. We would love to have you. We do a lot of exclusive things for the community. Anish Rumdali Rai, what you think about Google? And Rodrigo Pimenta says, what app are you using? So Rodrigo, this app that you see in front of us right now is called TradingView, and it's used for charting. I trade using Webull, Robinhood, and Thinkorswim. And so I try to use different platforms for my community because different members of my community use different platforms. So I want to be able to share the screenshots with them, ask questions for, if they have specific questions related to Webull, if they have specific questions related to Thinkorswim. I try to be well versed, or I'm trying to get my skills up with each one. But just to show you, I have a channel that's dedicated to all of my call outs and my trades. So here's a screenshot from Webull. Here's a Robinhood screenshot, just showing you guys that I use the different platforms. But I did call out 2 plays today. So I dropped 2 plays. Let me see where they were at. I talked about the XLF puts. So if you guys want to see my trading recap on the XLF puts or the Amazon puts that I got in, made about 23%, was good. Nothing too crazy. I kept my trades super small today. I was very conservative, just working more so on my strategy and making sure my consistency is right. We've got a little bit of the screenshot confirmation, 23% on the Amazon puts, 8% on the XLF puts. So, or 23% on XLF, pardon me, and 8% on Amazon. So just imagine if you put in $1,000, that turned into 230, or if you put in 1,000 on the Amazon, that turned into 80, which is not bad in my opinion. I'm not one of those people that aims to have these home runs or grand slams every time. I am a consistent base hitter, and I like to see those compound. All right. So let's see. Yo, user 6411659650742. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Dr. Preston wants to take a look at GWAV. I'll check that in a minute. And then the Bullish Bear is letting us know that Fed minutes acknowledged no rate cuts this year. Dump is coming. Oof. Might be. I don't know. I feel like no rate cuts are kind of priced into the market. We definitely will get a little bit of negative sentiment for sure, some bearish sentiment, but I don't think it's going to cause a full-fledged dump. We need like an official announcement of a recession. We need another economic report to have numbers that are off. But I think most of the market has priced in that, hey, there aren't going to be rate cuts this year. All right, I want to make sure I don't miss any questions. So Anish Rumdali wanted to take a look at Google. Now, I have Google in my long-term portfolio. So just to give you guys a little recap, the whole purpose of my Discord community is that we show how to learn how to trade. You take the profits from your trading, and then you invest that in assets that are going to take care of you in the future. The easiest thing that I like to invest in, of course, are stocks. So one thing that I also put in my community is my exact portfolio. I give updates on it on a daily basis on my long-term portfolio. I have a public link so you guys can see what I'm invested in at any given time. I created this live little visual display just to make sure that everybody can see it. And Anish, I haven't forgot about Google, but you guys can see just some visual charts of everything that I'm invested in. So you guys can take a look at what's going on with my performance and all that kind of stuff. But what we wanted to take a look at was Google really quick. So we'll do that for Anish, and then I'll look back at the comments. So you guys just be patient with me. I know the comments go kind of fast. I got to make sure I can scroll back through them. TikTok sometimes hides the comments, but we're going to go and take it all step by step together as a community. Thank you guys so much for the likes. Thank you for the follows. We're already over 4K. That's super dope. User 614 or 6411659. Thank you for the follow. User 6411659650742 ask, is the Discord membership free? So you get the first 30 days free, and then it's just $10 a month. Rex Haro, thanks for coming through. El Jefe Garces, thank you. Luciano Salvatore, I see you. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. Let's see who the top viewers are. Pamela, I see you. I appreciate you for coming through, spending time with me today, Pamela. Plan your trades. Will Matthews, my guy. Nat, Taylor Riley. Yo, Yolanda Singleton. Suruj Sky. Menga Palkarin. Level Life, I see you. I see you. D Music Star. Kier Mondavia 819, Ray, Foursome Flow Clothing, Rex Haro, Precious Moodia 4. Is that Precious? I want to make sure I pronounce these right. You guys have very unique usernames. Luciano Salvatore, D Alexander, Ma Jojo, Trojan Horse, Lisa, and De Leon Elvis. I appreciate every single one of you for being on the live and rocking with your boy. Thank you so much. All right, so we wanted to take a look at Google, and then we'll take a look at Tesla. I see Tesla in the comments. Tesla moved pretty crazy the other day. We were talking about that in the Discord. All right, so here on Google, let me start off with the daily chart. Oof. This is a good one. So this is what I like to see, right? We clearly have this upwards trend on the daily chart for Google, and I'm always looking for the initial reversal of the trend. So if we've been upward, looking for indications that we're coming to the downside, or if we've been going down, looking for indications that we're going to move to the upside. So this is exactly what I like to look for right here. We've had this strong upwards trend, and now on the daily chart, we've started a downward trend. So the first thing that I would do is I would go ahead and connect these first 2 points, just creating just a very general trend line. And then usually for downwards trends, I like to make the line bearish. And so what I would like to see tomorrow is somewhat, and this is a little tight trend line. We might want to give it a little bit more breathing room, especially because of the spacing between each candlestick. But something a little bit like this, I will want to see a bounce off of the trend line to the downside, and then spotlight where was the most recent level of support and resistance. So it looks like it's this candle right here. So a good thing would either be waiting, if you're bold enough, right? It'll be cheaper to buy puts once it bounces off the line, or if you want to wait for a break below this low to get in, and then we could potentially come on down here to this candle. Not the biggest move in the world, but you'll definitely make some money options trading. Or TikTok might wrap me up. So that's what I would do. I can't give y'all financial advice, but that's what I would do. Right. Melanie, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Bullish Bear sent a little crown. I got a little crown. All right, Bullish Bear, we want to take a look at Tesla. All right. D. Alexander says, I'm already in. D. Alexander, are you already in on Google Puts? Or which one are we talking about? Forgive me, y'all. I know I might be missing things in the chat, so I'm trying my best to get there and check it out while doing the charting and answering questions. But we're rocking together. All right. Yolanda Singleton, I appreciate you for that follow. I hope you know that I do. D. Alexander is my guy. He already knows what it is. So this is what I talk about. Did you get in yesterday or did you get in today for your puts? This is the exact kind of setup that I really, really like. You got that trend. You got the initial signal, right, that the downtrend is starting. And then if I want to enter tomorrow, which I might do, I'm going to put this on the charting for my Discord, but either looking off of a bounce off of the line or a break below to ride this down. And then I just want to go in and really get an idea of where the support and resistance is. I might even make this like the first area of support and resistance, followed by maybe something a little bit down here. But it's kind of choppy looking at the Google chart. But something along those lines. That's how I'm looking. All right, finally, Free Pauline. What's up, Pauline? All right, and D. Alexander got in today. My guy. Exactly the way that I move. That's exactly the way that I trade. That's what's up. Okay, I'm going to make sure I didn't miss questions. So we got our take on Google. Oh, somebody wanted to take a look at Tesla. I'm going to try to keep it on. Then I see SPY next. Let's go take a look at Tesla. Let's go take a look at the Tesla. Yes, we want to save. Let's go take a look at Tesla. I need to keep NVIDIA up. I need to keep NVIDIA up. All right. Oops, not NVIDIA, but let's go take a look at Tesla first. I need to keep an NVIDIA tab up. Pardon me. Jose says, where do I think NVIDIA will open? I'm going to keep it a buck with you, Jose. I'm going to wait and see how the pre-market is doing tomorrow. That's going to be the best indication of where it's open, because if we have a run up crazy that puts NVIDIA like at 1100, then we may be way up there. But if we have somewhat of a sell-off before the market opens up, we could be closer to like 990. So I would wait to reserve to give my opinion until tomorrow. All right. So let's take a look at Tesla right now. We've got Tesla on the daily. We were just talking about this in the Discord. As you can tell, I was just charting it. So we've got a nice upward trend so far on the daily chart. This is what I've charted out with this support and resistance zone. Here we are on this candle right here for Tesla. The day ended at a little bit bearish, and according to the strat, this was an inside candle. So we want to be very aware, because inside candles can be very tricky. But what I would like to see if I was to trade Tesla is the same kind of theory that we just saw with Google. I would like to see a push back down to this trend line, and then I would go down to a lower time frame to look for confirmation of an entry, maybe like a bullish hammer on the hourly or the 30-minute or the 45-minute, something like that. Once it bounces off of this trend line, to take calls back up to the upside. Or, because it's already been in this upward trend for a few days, you might want to wait for a break of the trend, but we have a nice solid trend line that's built here. My thing would be looking for it to come down here. I would be a little hesitant to try to get in calls that break above, because this is a support and resistance zone that Tesla's kind of like struggled with. So I would be more inclined. I would really like to see for it to come down and bounce off of this trend line. Yo, what's up? CJ says about to pop. Somebody bought 50 million in calls. Is that on Tesla, CJ? So Z Daddy and whoever else was asking about Tesla, I hope that answers your question a little bit, at least about how I would trade options contracts on it. Let me show Pamela. Pamela wants to take a look at Snow. Let's go take a look at Snow for Pam. Wham, bam. Thank you, Pam. All right, I haven't looked at Snow in a long time. All right, wow. So Snow looks just like what we saw with NVIDIA. Let's go back to it. So we had a question earlier in the chat about whether or not we should be, or not whether or not, but what other competitors should we look at in relation to NVIDIA. And here we have Snow moving the exact same way as AMD, moving the exact same way as NVIDIA in the after hours trading. So let's go back and let's bring it up for the visual. As a matter of fact, I should just put it on the same one. So I'll split it in two, and then I'll go back to one, but just so we can see the movements. So over here, we will put NVDA. Boom. Let me kind of clean it up a little bit. So look at this. On the left-hand side, we've got NVDA, and then on the right-hand side, we've got Snow, and it's moving. It looks almost the same. The same general movement to a degree. There's a slight difference with this crazy wick to the upside, but we can see that initial bullish and then a pullback. So I'm thinking we can see the same type of movements with Snow that we're going to see with NVIDIA tomorrow. That's right, twinning. That's right, Pamela, for sure. I mean, slight differences, right, with the candlesticks, but that overall movement is there, right? That overall, we went up. We had this crazy pullback downside. It got itself back together, and now it's starting to consolidate and flatten out. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. For sure. Now, there was one more that I wanted to take a look at. I forgot that fast. CJ says GME. Here's my thoughts, and I've said this a few times in my live, CJ. Even though it was a couple weeks ago and the days have kind of passed, the market makers are in control of GME, in my opinion. I said this maybe about a week or so ago, that I would be interested in looking at puts as far out as I could afford. And that's essentially what's going on. Unfortunately, our diamond hands, brothers and sisters, have kind of lost their grip fighting against the market makers. And look, we've got on the daily chart just this downward trend. And I kind of charted this out already. But look, we have this crazy gap down on GME, and now we're just in a downward trend. So, you know, anything, wherever you decide to mark like your support and resistance, once we break below it, we're going to just come back down. So there was one person that was in my TikTok live last week that said that they got puts a couple months out. And I was thinking the same thing, like how far out? Because unfortunately, eventually this kind of, you know, the hype is going to wear off. And when the market makers get even more control, or the hedge funds or those that are short, it's going to continue to push the stock back down. So that would be my thoughts. I do feel bad saying that because I feel like it's going against the common man and the retail traders and all of us from, you know, back in 2021 and fighting the good fight for GME. But at the same time, I feel like this whole thing was a big pull and play and manipulation by the market makers to get people to run it up, to sell it down. T Doan, I hope I pronounced that correct. Is that T Doan? Thank you for the follow. Keep Fight, thank you for the follow. I appreciate y'all. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing any comments, anything like that. Yep. It's so crazy because like TikTok won't show me all the comments unless I really scroll, which I'm trying to do, or it has this feature where after you go live, it'll show you all the comments. And I'm like, yo, what good is that going to do me if I'm not live anymore? All right, Chapito, thanks for coming through. Jeff, we see you. Thanks for coming through. All right. So I appreciate y'all. Just wanted to talk really quick about NVIDIA. If you guys just saw the analysis that I just did on Google, it was the exact same play that I called out in the community earlier today. So let me go to the trading chat room. And the exact same thing we saw with Google is the puts that I called today. So last night in my Discord, I said tomorrow I'll be looking to take puts on XLF if there's a nice bounce / rejection off the downward trend line. So I kept it very simple. We had this chart that was as of last night. I'll move me out the way. We had started this initial downward trend, and I was looking for something around here to bounce off of to come down to the downside. So if we go take a look at XLF over here, we can see how the day played out. XLF right there, boom. Let's take a look at the chart. Let's bring me back, make me a little bit smaller. Jose says, you have a Discord? I do. The link is in the bio, my guy. All right, and let's go take a look. Okay. So this is the 30-minute chart. Let me hide some of these indicators. And we'll look at the overall. So look how the day pulled out. Look how the day played out, right? We had that little bounce at the top. And then we pushed down and broke below. So now if we go back and look at the 30-minute, we can really see how the day played out, right? We had a push up, a little spike up, and then a push down on XLF, which is exactly what I was looking for. So I had already peeped it and called it out last night in my Discord saying that's what I was looking for. And then I put the trade signals in the chat, right? So where was it at? I got in on both my Robinhood account and my Webull. So I put those all in here. I'm in XLF puts. That was at 6:31 a.m. as soon as the market opened. So I actually got in a little too soon. So I had to be patient and deal with some of the upward movement, which was a little rough. But it was fine. And I also got in on Robinhood. I took some very small positions. Well, I guess that's relative. It's all subjective of what we consider small. I also called out some Amazon puts, and everything played out pretty nicely today. Everything played out good. On the Webull account, made a little bit of money off of those puts, but I traded very small. And then on the Robinhood, I had bought 25 contracts. I sold the first 20 in profit. Then I let the 5 run. And then eventually I sold out of those 2. And then we got the confirmation from TradeZella that shows that I made 23% on those XLF puts and 8% on the Amazon puts. But I know that's kind of blurry, so my bad, y'all. All right, Trelly, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. 03453389001114. Thank you for the follow. Yo, Ladybug, I see you. Thank you for the follow. Little Ladybug coming through. There's Destiny Rose. Hey, Destiny, how's it going? Thanks for coming through. So just showing the proof in the pudding that I gave the heads up to my Discord community last night about exactly what I was looking for. It played out. I got in those. So today was a beautiful day, and I can only be thankful to the Most High that it planned out, or it panned out just the way that it was. Appreciate the follow, Trelly. All right. So with that being said, I wanted to tap in. I'm going to do one more look at NVIDIA because that's what this live was really about. They came through with the earnings and the 10-for-1 stock split. So let's take a look one more time. Mr. Shad Graham, thank you for the likes. We're running up those likes. Joe Ferrick. All right. Mr. Shad Graham says, is the Discord free? So you get the first 30 days free, and then it's just $10 a month. All right. But look at today. Today, depending on how much you were able to trade with, was a 30% return on your money. I made almost $200 today, so think about that. Trading nice and conservatively. So here we are. We're looking at NVIDIA. Some key notes from the overall live that we talked about today. If you've got shares or anything, you can generally expect that at market open, there might be a sharp retracement or push down on NVIDIA. Usually when I see these long downside wicks, like how we see on this candle right here, usually when we see these long downside wicks, that's usually an indication to me that the market makers and the sellers with big bags, with the heavy pockets, when the market opens tomorrow, they're going to really be looking to take out and get profits immediately. So there's going to be some type of a retracement or a dip, in my opinion. I could be wrong. But I also believe that now that NVIDIA has broken the $1,000 mark, or the $1,000 threshold, it's now going to become a psychological level for NVIDIA, meaning that it's going to be a level of support. Now, of course, there's going to be volatility tomorrow, so it's going to break below or go below 1,000 and shoot back up, and everything's got to level out. But I think in the days to come, $1,000 will be a good support/resistance zone for NVIDIA. Yo, Jeff, thank you for sharing the live. So Level Life says, what stock had a split? That was NVIDIA. That's part of the overall news with their earnings that they talked about, that they're actually doing a stock split. And we talked about that in the Discord as well, too. Let me show y'all. Where is the blurb? Hold on. All right, so here it is right here. So NVIDIA is set for 10-for-1 forward stock split effective June 7th. And so one of the questions that came up is, if you're looking to buy shares in NVIDIA, should you wait for a pullback or should you just get in? And this one's a little tricky because most of the times when there's a stock split, companies like Apple or Walmart or Tesla, the split doesn't go into effect until months later. But it looks like NVIDIA is doing this pretty quick. In a couple of weeks going into June, the stock is going to split 10-for-1. That means if you have one share of NVIDIA, you're now going to have 10 shares as of June 7th. And it's the same way the options contracts. If you have one options contract right now for NVIDIA that expires after June 7th, that one contract is going to turn into 10 contracts. So just keep that in mind. All right. Mr. Shot Ground says, you think the dip will occur at open or pre? I think we're going to see volatility on both ends. We're going to see somewhat of a dip in the pre-market, and we're definitely, in my opinion, I could be wrong, going to see some sell-off, because we got to remember there are a lot of traders that only have the ability to execute their trades during the regular market hours, especially when it comes to options contracts. Now, in theory, options contracts should not affect the price of a stock, but in reality, it does, right? So if people are analyzing how they want to play a stock and they see that there's a crazy amount of bearish interest, there's a crazy amount of puts betting against the stock, then they may be inclined to short it, or they may be inclined to sell their shares. And vice versa. If we're seeing that there's a huge amount of calls, somebody notated in this live just a moment ago that somebody bought 53 million in calls on another ticker, then that could be an indication that there may be some underlying bullish momentum. So that may prompt people to get in. So with that being said, I just want to offer a little bit of balanced thinking. All right, Level Life says, familiar with that. I thought there was a different one. All right, might be off. Yo, Kaiden McElwin, thank you for coming through. Or is that Caden? But hey, I appreciate all y'all for tapping in with your guy, with your boy Curtis G. And with that being said, y'all, feel free to come through, join the Discord. You get 30 days free and you get to rock with us. We got a lot of fun things that happen in there. You get to chop it up, a lot of exclusives. But with that being said, I'll see y'all all tomorrow. All right, peace.